Good morning, children. So welcome back to another video on the practice question in the MCQ format, and this is for chapter number 6 of your science NCERT. The chapter name is tissue and it is a part 2 for class 9th, and it is presented by me, Pooja Verma, your teacher. So let's get started. So before we begin, we need to understand certain rules that you should use a sheet of a paper and a pen to answer these questions, and if you have attempted the right answer, give yourself +1, or if you have attempted wrong or unattempted the question, then give yourself 0. There is no negative marking. Listen carefully to the explanation after attempting the question, which I am going to provide you at the end of each and every questions, and don't forget to tell your marks in the comment section below along with your name. Okay, so let's get started. Now the first question for today is: the cells of a cork are dead and have a chemical in their walls. Okay, they have a chemicals in their walls that makes them impervious to the gases and the water, and your options are A. lignin, B. suberin, C. cutin, and D. wax. Make sure that you understand the question. Here the question asking that the cells of a cork are dead, okay, and they have a chemical substance. You should know the name of that particular chemical substance, and your options are A. lignin, okay, B. suberin, C. cutin, and D. wax. Let me know the answer. Take your time. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option B, that is suberin. So you know, students, that suberin are the chemical substance that is being deposited in the cell wall of the cork. Okay, now apart from this, you could also able to understand that cork, okay, cork is the outermost protective tissue. Okay, sometimes it is also termed as bark. So cork is the outermost protective tissue present at the periphery, okay, and it contains the dead cells. As you see here in the diagram, it contains the dead cell. Then we having cork cambium, that is responsible to increase the girth of the plant. Then we have the cortex, the primary phloem, secondary phloem, vascular bundle, secondary xylem, primary xylem, and the innermost, the pith. If we talk about the functions of a cork, so students, cork cells are being highly superized and they have the thick cell wall. Why they have a thick cell wall? Because suberin, okay, the chemical suberin is deposited in their cell walls that make the cell dead, rigid and tough, okay, and make them impervious, that is impermeable to gas and the water. Apart from this, student, cork layer, that is the outermost bark layer, also provide protection. Okay, they also, because that is present at the outermost layer, so they are going to provide protection to the inner tissues from the attack of the microorganism, and they also act as an insulating membrane. Okay, they also act as an insulating membrane just to protect the plant from the unfavorable temperatures, attack of the microorganisms, and so on. Also protect the plant from the mechanical injury. Okay, so that's all for this question. Moving further, the next question is: the flexibility in plants is due to a tissue that is known as. Now this question was asking about the flexibility in plants, and your options are A. collenchyma, B. parenchyma, C. sclerenchyma, and D. collenchyma. Okay, keep in mind chlorine, paren, scleren, and collen. Take your time and mark the right answer. Okay, the correct answer for this question is option D, that is collenchyma. Now students, you know very well that collenchyma is a living cell, as you know, but the important thing that these cells contains is the cell wall get thickened at the corners पे देखो, यहाँ पे cell wall थोड़ी सी thick हो जाती है, ठीक है? Kindly look in the diagram. So collenchymatous cells having cell wall thickening at the corners, okay, and they usually it's like they provide the tensile strength and the rigidity to the plant just because of this thickened corner that is present in the collenchymatous cells. Apart from this, they also provide the elasticity, or we call it as simply flexibility, to the plant organs. Sometimes what would happen ki agar it's like if we bend the leaves, or if we sometimes we slightly bend the stem of the plant, it wouldn't broke. Okay? So why it does not broke? Because collenchymatous tissue is present there, which provides bending of the leaves and of the stem without breaking it. And just because, as you look in the diagram, it also contains vacuoles. So collenchymatous cells are living and contains food as well, stores food. They have protoplasm and then they have a cell wall. Clear? Cell wall thickening is found in the collenchymatous cells. That is a very prominent feature. Moving further, the next question is the tissue that is present in the lining of the kidney tubules and of the duct of salivary gland is, and your options are A. Squamous epithelial tissue, B. Glandular epithelial tissue, C. Cuboidal epithelium tissue, and D. Columnar epithelial tissue. Okay, take your time and mark the right answer. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option C, that is cuboidal epithelial tissue. So students, you know very well about the 4 important types of the epithelial tissue, that is squamous epithelia, columnar epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, and the glandular epithelium, depending on the basis of the structure and the organization of their component cells. If we talk about the cuboidal epithelia, so you know very well, as it is also visible in the diagram, cells are almost cube-like in structures. ठीक है? Cells यहाँ पे cube-like in structures हैं, and they are having almost equal height and width. ठीक है? It is not just like कि एकदम ही same नहीं होगा, but almost we can say that they having the equal height and width. Apart from this, the nuclei is very prominently present at the center of the cell, as it is visible in the diagram. And if we talk about the location, students, so it is present in the lining of the kidney tubules, duct of the salivary glands, where it, so you know what, necessary to provide the mechanical strength. Okay, simple cuboidal cells is going to provide the mechanical strength, and it also helps in absorption, excretion, as well as secretion, apart from the providing the mechanical strength. So these are the functions of this cuboidal epithelial tissue. Moving further, next question is the connective tissue that connects muscle to bone is called. So here you need to mark the right answer regarding, okay, you need to tell that which connective tissue is basically connects the muscle to the bone, and your options are A. ligament, okay, B. tendon, C. nervous tissue, and D. all of the above. Take your time, mark the right answer. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option B, that is tendon. So students, tendons, if you talk about tendons, as you look over in the diagram, so tendons are fibrous connective tissue with great strength and flexibility, as it is responsible to join muscle with the bones. And why they do so? Because they occur in the form of like sheets, and here in the diagram this white structure is basically what it is like. Tendons contains white collagen fibers, which basically enables them to join muscles with the bones. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option B. Moving further, the tissue that helps in the movement of our body are, and your options are A. muscular tissue, B. skeletal tissue, C. nervous tissue, and D. all of the above. Keep in mind the question was asking regarding which tissue helps in the movement of our body. Options are muscular, skeletal, nervous, and all of the above. Take your time, mark the right answer. Okay, I hope you have marked your answer. The correct answer for this question is option A, that is muscular tissue. So students, let me know or give you a brief like introduction that you know what, muscular tissue or the muscle cells or the tissues are only responsible to enable movement in the human body or the animal body. Not only the movement, students, muscles also bring movement of the body parts and the locomotion. Locomotion is the complete displacement from one place to another. These muscle tissues consist of muscle fibers, cells that is termed as muscle fibers. Now if we talk about the types of muscle tissues, then we're having three important types, that is smooth muscle tissue, okay, then we have cardiac muscle tissue, and then we have skeletal muscle tissue. I'm not going into detail, but the only thing over here I need to tell you is that smooth muscle tissues are involuntary in action. Now what do you mean by involuntary? It's like their movement is not under our will, and that is the reason these sort of muscle is termed as involuntary. Cardiac muscles is also involuntary in nature. We can't regulate the functioning or the mechanism of the cardiac muscles and the smooth muscles, but skeletal muscles are the voluntary in nature. Now what do you mean by voluntary? Voluntary is something, these muscles can be moved at our will, okay. As their movement is under our will, we can term it as voluntary. हमारी इच्छा से we can able to move these sort of muscles. We can move our hand, we can locomote from one place to another. So these are the three important types of the muscle fibers that is present in the human body. Clear? Moving further. Question number 6 is, sieve tubes and companion cells are present in, and your options are A. xylem, B. phloem, C. cork, and D. cambium. Sieve tubes and companion cells are present in, and these are your options. Kindly take your time and mark the right answer. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option B, that is phloem. Now student, you need to understand that phloem is a vascular tissue that is responsible for the transportation or the conduction of food in a plant body. And like xylem, it also made up of 4 different types of cells, and those are sieve tubes, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. If I talk about sieve tubes and companion cells, students, so these are the 2 cells that basically help in the conduction of food from one body part of the plant to another. Apart from that, phloem parenchyma stores food, phloem fibers are responsible to provide the strength, and so on. We have a detailed discussion about this. So you can, if you do not know the basics, you can refer to that video. So the correct answer is option B, that is phloem. Okay. Moving further to the next question. The size of a stem increases in width due to, and your options are A. apical meristem, B. intercalary meristem, C. primary meristem, and D. lateral meristem. Take your time, mark the right answer. Here the question was asking that the size of the stem is increases by the action of which type of tissue. All of the options contain the meristematic tissue, and you know very well that meristematic tissue are the tissues which having the continuously dividing cells. They are responsible to increase the mass of the plant, growth, and so on. So take your time, mark the right answer. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option D, that is lateral meristem. So as you see here in the diagram, we having 3 important types of meristematic tissue, that is apical meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue, and the lateral meristematic tissue. If I talk about lateral meristematic tissue, then it occurs at the side of the stem or the root as it is visible in the diagram. Okay, and these are basically responsible to increase the girth of the plant. Girth means what? The thickness, the diameter of the plant. So these meristematic tissues are responsible to increase the girth or the diameter of the plant by the addition of the secondary tissue, जिसको हम बोलते हैं कभी-कभी secondary growth भी. Okay, the correct answer for that question is option D, that is lateral meristem. Okay, occurs at the side of the root and stem, and solely responsible to increase the girth, that is the thickness, diameter of the roots and the stem. Okay, moving further to the next question we have. Okay students, so moving further to the next question we have, cartilage and bone are types of, and your options are A. muscular tissue, B. connective tissue, C. meristematic tissue, and D. epithelial tissue. Read the question again and mark the right answer. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option B, that is connective tissue. So that here is the basic diagram of the connective tissue. What can I tell you is the very basic functions and the characteristics of the connective tissue. Connective tissue, as you know students, also termed as the packing tissue, and it is distributed approximately 30 to 40% of the body weight, forms a sheath around the organs. And the basic function, if we talk about, then the basic functions are, the functions of connective tissues are binding and packing, attachment, support, storage, and so on. Okay, moving further we have, next question is, xylem and phloem are examples of, and your options are A. simple epidermal tissue, B. simple tissue, C. connective protective tissue, and D. complex tissue. Take your time, mark the right answer. Okay, so correct answer for this question is option D, that is complex permanent tissue. Xylem and phloem are the complex permanent tissue because they have a common origin, and xylem is responsible for the conduction of water, whereas phloem is responsible for the conduction of food. Is that clear? Moving further, last question for this video is, a tissue whose cells are capable of dividing and redividing is called, and your options are A. complex tissue, B. connective tissue, C. permanent tissue, and D. meristematic tissue. Take your time, mark the right answer. Okay, the correct answer for this question is option D, that is meristematic tissue. So if I discuss, so meristematic tissue is a group of young cells that basically have a capacity of continuous cell division, and as you look here in the flow chart, meristematic tissue is of three types, that is apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and the lateral meristem. Apical meristem present at the tip of the stem and the root, lateral meristem present at the side of the stem and the roots, intercalary meristem present at the nodes and the branch nodes of the stem of the root. Okay, so that's all for the day, students. These are 10 important MCQs which you can practice for the chapter tissue. Don't forget to tell me your score in the comment section below along with your name. And so thank you so much for listening the video. Have an awesome day ahead. Thank you.